This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi. This is Rajesh. Welcome back again. So I'm going to discussing it today. I'm going to discussing about the loops concepts. As in the earlier sessions, we already been discussed about the branching statements and control statements, branching statements, which is consisting of conditional statements, unconditional statements. These things are there in the branching statements, whereas in the loops is one of the concept that we need to. So in the branching statements, we already been discussed about the control or decision making statements. Okay, so that is if else statements and if statements, and as well as the switch statements. Okay, but before going to the second one in the branching statements, the second one is like unconditional or jump control statements is there. Okay, but the thing here is before learning this unconditional or jump control statements, we need to go with so we need to go we need to go with loop statements before going for the unconditional or jump control statements, because mostly this kind of jump control statements will be used in loops only mostly. So that's what first we need to learn the loop statement, then we will go for the unconditional or jump control statements. Okay, fine, let us come back here. So look at into the screen now. So the loop statements, as we already been told that a loop is a the control statement uh, test the conditions and then execute the and then direct the repeated execution of the statements contained in the body of a loop. Okay, so it is nothing but a block which is consisting of a statements which was being repeatedly executed. We are calling it as a loop one. So but what are those loops that we need to discuss it now? So there are two kinds of loops. One more pre things that we need to be considered here now. So there are two kinds of loop. One is entry control loop and another is exit control loop. Okay. So in the entry control loop, then we can able to see that pre-test loop. That means see uh, first we need to check the condition. Then according to that, then we need to go for if it is true in the entry itself. If the condition is true, then we will execute the body. Those kind of loops we are calling it as an entry control loop, man. Okay, so while loop is one of the thing that we can able to consider to be as an entry control loop, and as well as the for loop is also considered to be as an entry control loop, right? And the next one here is exit control loop. Exit control loop is nothing but the post test loop. That means in the sense of what it was trying to say here is first blindly execute the body of the loop, then check the condition. Okay, so that means post. In the entry control loop, what we are doing, first check the condition, then execute the body. But here in the exit control loop, first blindly execute the body, then test the condition. So, and this is what um, do while loop is going to be happen. So that is what we are calling it as exit control loop, right? So mostly the entry control loop, that's what we clearly said that. So whatever the statement it is there based on the condition, first we will check the condition. If it is true, then only it will execute the body. Okay, then it will go on checking the condition once again. Okay, if it is false, simply it will go move out of the body. Okay, so it will stop that loop. So entry control loop, that's what we are calling it as. First we'll check the precondition, so what it is. Then exit control loop, what we said, man, first it will blindly execute the body of the loop, then test the condition. If it is true, then it will go on execute the body once again. Go. Okay, so if it is false, then it will come out of the loop. Okay, so this is how the entry control loop, exit control loop will be happen. So let us see now the settings and the initialization of a condition variables. 4 steps it was going to be involved, execution of statement in the loop. Okay, so the specific value of the condition will be varied. So according to that, right? So this is what the thing here that we have to. While statement meant. What is the syntax meant? While is a keyword. It is not, when C language is case sensitive. First make sure about that. All the things will be, the keywords is in small letters only. While is a keyword, and within the brackets we need to follow with the condition, whether A is greater than B or B is greater than C, whatever it is. And within the block, while block, that is what we are calling it as the block, is also the other name we are calling it as a while body. Within that body we have statements is there. So you can see that, see, the while statement has been started here. So first the condition, whatever the initialization that we are going to be starting in, so that will be checking over here. The condition has been checked. Then if it is true, then it will go on execute the while body. Okay, so once the while body has been executed, and it will go on execute and check the condition once again, and it will execute the while body once again, until this execution, repetitive execution will be happen. Okay, the set of common statements was being keep repeatedly executed the statements. But whereas when it is going to stop, in the sense, once the condition becomes false, then it will, the whole loop is coming out of it. Okay, so that is what the execution process it was going to be happen. So the next one, the simple concept that we can able to go with the simple example here is int main, and in I and n enter the range we had been said, and in is the value that we are going to providing from your input, and initialize some kind of statement here. I is equal to starting from variable 1. So one while condition, what is that within the bracket? I is less than or equal to n. So one is let us say, which is nothing but something 3, n is nothing but 3. So I is 1 is less than or equal to 3 true, then again come inside into that body. If it is true, then we have to execute the body, right? This is what the body first statement here is I value, print the I value. That means 1 it was going to be printed. Then what we are trying to say, when I is equal to I plus 1 or I plus plus also we can able to write. Then check the condition once again. I has been incremented. What will happen? Initially I is 1, then it was been incremented in the body itself. What it is 2 now. So 2 is less than 3 true. Again it will print that value. 1 is already been printed and 2 is going to be printed now. Then I becomes incremented once again. Then 3. So execute the body once again. Check the condition. So 3 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, true. Again print the I value. Then I becomes what, man? So what is output? 1, 2, 3. It was going to be printed. Then what is the I has to be incremented again back. So what will happen now? It is becomes 4 now. 4 is less than or equal to 3. No. So the condition becomes false now. It will come out of, simply come out of it, and it will give you the output as 1, 2, and 3. So this is how that loop. So this is what the thing that was keep go on repeating. The common body statement was keep go on repeating until the condition becomes false. So this is how the execution process will be happen in the while loop. In the do while loop, we can able to come to see the first the statement set of do body statements will be there. So that body statement initialization statements will be executed. Then do while loop body is there, so it will blindly execute that one, and then the condition will be checked at the ending of the body. Do while body execution will be, condition will be checked over here. If it is true, then it will keep on executing the while body once again. Okay, so if it is false, the condition becomes false, then it won't go back to execute the do body. Then it will simply next it will stop that statement actually. Okay, so these are the things. Then we will see that simple thing here is do while loop. So this is what the syntax. See, do is one of the keyword. Do is the keyword within the brackets. So this is what the brackets that we need to, and while is the within the condition that we have to write. Okay, see, let us see now. So in num we said, so do print enter a value. We had been entered some kind of some 5, let us assume like. So using that scanf we are going to be reading that. Then while num modulus 2 is not equal to 0. So modulus 2 is nothing but what it will give, man? Some 5. 5 modulus 2. What is the remainder, man? So modulus will give you the remainder. So it is nothing but 1 now. So 1 is not equal to 0. It's true again, right? So go back to the do body. So the do body is from here to here, it is do body, then execute the do body once again, right? So initially where we started, when do body has been executed, then while we're going to be entered here now, right? And this go on repeating the statements. So until if the statement becomes true, I mean, if the statement becomes false, then it will stop that executing the do body. So it will come out of it, right? If 5 is an true, then it was being executed once again. Then 6 I had given, and coming into enter a value, and num becomes 6 now. Then num modulus 2, which is nothing but 0. 0 is not equal to 0, that becomes false. So it will stop it. So So that is what it was, keep going executing the body. So this is how. Okay. Then the next one here is the first statement, man. The first statement, how it was going to be executed. Let us see that first initialization was been happen, man. I is equal to 0. Then the next, it was being divided into 3 parts, man. The first one is initialization, and the next one is condition, and the third one is increment or decrement operations. Okay, and then it will go with the body. The first one is initialization, I is equal to 0, and check that. The next one is checking that condition. So I is less than or equal to something n value or phi value, whatever it is. Okay, if it is true, if it is true, then the for loop body will be executed. Okay, if it is not, then it will simply skip it. So this is what we can able to see. The for loop body will be executed and the expressions will be executed, and again it will go back and check the condition once again, and this repetition process was going to be happen. Okay, so but I is going to be incremented at the same time parallelly for after every execution of the for loop body, then I is going to be incremented, post incremented, okay, or pre incremented. So according to that, if it is, whenever the condition becomes false, then it will completely come out of it. Okay, for loop. So this is what it was going to be. See, we can see that for loop within the body, initialization, expression, loop repetition, condition, updated expressions, and as well as this statements was going to be executed. Initialization expression sets the control initial value of the control loop, and the loop repetition condition will be tested, and the update increment or decrement operation. So let us see the simple example here now. We can able to see that void main int I printf enter the value, the scanf percentage d ampersand n, and the n value, let us assume like I had been taken with some 3, and I is equal to starting with varman initialization, that is 1. It is only one time execution process, it was initialized. Okay, I is less than right, I is less than or equal to n. So I is 1 now. So yes, it's a true. I is less than or equal to 3. Then coming inside into that, once the condition has been true, then we have to go for it. Go for the execution of the body. So print the I value 1. Then any more statements, man? No. The body is going to be n now. So immediately what we have to go for, increment the I value. Then I becomes what, man? 2 now. So check the condition. No need to go for this again. So check the condition now. So 2 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, true. Yeah, then you can come to go of executing this one. So this is how we can be able to go on. And nested for loops is also there. Within the for loop body, we have another for loop body. Then we can able to go on executing until this inner for loop body has been condition was been stopped. It becomes, the condition becomes false. Then it will go and increment the I value. So until and unless the outer for loop is going to be executed. Okay, so once the inner for loop body has been stopped, then only it will increment the I value, or otherwise it will keep going incrementing with the repetition of the inner for loop body only. Okay, this is what that we can able to see up to here, the inner for loop. So in the same way, yeah. So if the thing here is almost the inner body will be happen like that only. So thank you. We'll see in the next video the jump control statements.